Once upon a time, in the dark and misty forests of Transylvania, there lived a mysterious and enigmatic figure known as Count Dracula. Legend had it that he was an ancient vampire, cursed to live for centuries, feasting on the blood of the living to sustain his immortal existence. Count Dracula resided in a grand, eerie castle perched atop a lonely hill, surrounded by gnarled trees and ominous gravestones. The locals spoke of him in hushed whispers, for they feared the wrath of the vampire if they dared to cross his path. The tale of Count Dracula began centuries ago when he was a mortal nobleman named Vlad III, also known as Vlad the Impaler, due to his gruesome and brutal methods of executing his enemies. Vlad was a fierce warrior, known for his ruthlessness in battle and his loyalty to his homeland, but his violent nature earned him a fearsome reputation among his enemies and subjects alike. One fateful night, after a particularly bloody battle, Vlad returned to his castle, weary and bloodied. As he sat alone in his darkened chambers, he was visited by a mysterious and alluring figure in a flowing black cloak. This figure revealed herself to be a vampire, and she offered Vlad eternal life in exchange for his soul and loyalty to the darkness. Vlad, desperate to escape his violent fate, accepted the offer, and he was reborn as the vampire Count Dracula. With his newfound powers, he reveled in the dark magic that coursed through his veins, and he embraced the life of a predator, thirsting for the blood of the living. Over the centuries, Count Dracula traveled the world, moving from one castle to another, always seeking fresh hunting grounds and new victims to quench his insatiable thirst. He could control the minds of lesser creatures, such as wolves and bats, using them as his loyal servants to carry out his sinister deeds. However, despite his immortal existence, Count Dracula was not entirely free from the weight of his past. His conscience tormented him, and he occasionally experienced flashes of his former humanity, particularly when he encountered love and compassion in the hearts of the innocent. One such encounter changed the course of Dracula's existence forever. He came across a young woman named Mina Harker, who bore a striking resemblance to his lost love from centuries past. Mina's kindness and beauty stirred something long buried in Dracula's cold heart. Unbeknownst to him, Mina was the fiancée of a brave and resourceful young lawyer named Jonathan Harker. As Count Dracula fixated on Mina, he hatched a plan to make her his eternal bride, believing she could bring back the humanity he had lost. Driven by his obsession, Count Dracula set in motion a series of events that entangled the lives of Mina and her friends, including Professor Abraham Van Helsing, a renowned vampire hunter. Van Helsing and his companions embarked on a perilous quest to track down and destroy the malevolent vampire once and for all. The tale unfolds as a riveting and intense battle of wits and wills between Count Dracula and the courageous band of vampire hunters. Dracula's powers and cunning prove formidable, but the hunter's determination and intelligence match the challenge. As the climax approaches, Count Dracula's emotions run wild, torn between his desire for redemption and his primal hunger for blood. Ultimately, love, sacrifice, and the struggle for humanity's survival intertwine, leading to a final showdown that will determine the fate of both the vampire and those who dare to stand against him. The tale of Count Dracula is one of tragedy, horror, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. It serves as a cautionary reminder of the dangers of succumbing to one's darkest desires and the power of love and selflessness in the face of evil. To this day, the legend of Count Dracula continues to captivate and terrify those who dare to delve into the shadowy realms of the undead.